Welcome you legends back to another video, and today we're doing something a bit closer to my heart. We're doing a career mode on Ipswich Town. Ipswich have had quite possibly one of the best stories in football within the last 2 seasons after gaining back-to-back promotions from League One to the Premier League. And Ipswich went crazy in the transfer market this summer, spending over £100 million and bringing in 12 players, 9 of which would have been either in the Championship this year or would have played in it last year. So today we're going to see if we can win Ipswich the Champions League whilst only signing players from the Championship. And so this is the squad that we're starting with, a really impressive squad with some of the best Championship talents from last season already here. Players like Greaves, Clark, Delap and Schmodix are all going to be great additions. However, what we're going to look to do is just try and bring in some quality talent each season, obviously look at relegated teams each year to see if we can pick up their best players, and just see if we can quickly grow into becoming a top quality Champions League outfit. And so when it comes to the budget, we're in a really good place. 43 million euros to spend, a lot of work can be done with that. We're going to look to add some really quality young talent to our squad that we can loan out and improve, and also make sure that our bench and backup options are just as strong as possible this season. And with all that going on, I also want to make sure that players like Leif Davis, Omari Hutchinson and Liam Delap are the focus of our career mode. They all have great potential, incredible talents in real life. I really want to see how far I can grow them. And so we got 5 deals done fairly quickly. We varied this from top quality talent to players that will grow. We wanted to just make sure that we were ready for this year and future years also. So we brought in Joe Bellingham from Sunderland, a top quality centre mid, brother of Jude. We brought in his teammate from Sunderland, Chris Rigg, a really top quality talent in the Championship. He really has had a breakout season this year, and he is now an Ipswich Town player. We've done the same with Vandenberg, a centre back from Middlesbrough. Really good addition in terms of the potential, but we will look to loan him out this season. And then we had 2 massive deals that will go straight into the team. James Trafford, we're going to put into goal, sell Muric just so we have the space for him, and then Willie Gnonto from Leeds, incredible player as it is, has an incredible potential to become a top player. And we did end up getting Aro Muric out. 10.5 million for the goalkeeper. We do want to focus on the growth and potential of James Trafford, so sadly that means this guy has to make way, but it just means we have more money to spend, and that means more talents coming in. And then we also got Joe Bellingham out fairly quickly, a nice little loan move just so he can continue his progression. I think he could be a real asset by next season. And then we did get a deal for 2 million for our Aussie centre-back. He's 28 years old, won't get involved too much, so Cameron Burgess goes to Al Ittihad. And then there were a couple of other transfers that just sort of snuck through. So Vandenberg did get loaned out to Brighton, and also Chris Rigg got loaned out to Leeds. Then we went to use that money from Muric to go and sign Trey Hume, a new right back. We did want Van Ewijk from Coventry, but he was too important for them to sell him. So we've settled for this guy who still has a good potential, but is still an upgrade on our team. And based on the amount of quality and talent we have now, we had no real choice but to sell Wes Burns. He's an absolute legend for us, but 2.6 million, we just had to let him go, sadly. And so we picked up 3 new players. Number 1 was Vata from Watford, a top quality young talent on the wing. Number 2 was Joe Johnson, a seriously raw talent at left back, but he has the serious potential to grow into a top player. He comes in for just under £1 million. And then Charlie Crew from Leeds, again just £1 million for this guy. The Welsh midfielder will come in and hopefully get some loan time and then add to the squad as we get into the depths of the career mode. And we did end up finalising the transfer window with Vata going out on loan to Como. Everything else is done. You've seen every other transfer, so it's been a crazy window, a lot of ins and outs, a lot of loans, everything, but we're now finalised. I'd like to see what we can do this season, and hopefully we can just stay up this year. And at the halfway mark, we're in a really good position. We're not great in terms of the points. We are literally only 1 point off relegation, but we are 15th right now. We're in that contention. We're in that bulk of teams that are fighting for relegation. But to know that we're this side of the line rather than underneath is fantastic. So great first half of the season, a lot to still grow into. Hopefully our talents can still grow, and the team will get stronger as the season goes on. But this is a really positive start. And just as a side note, Charlie Crew did get loaned out to Dusseldorf. He will spend the second half of the season out in Germany. And we lost against Köyüste back to Napoli. They were unhappy with the games he was having, so we picked up a new holding midfielder, Ilya Gruev from Leeds. This guy will come in for around 5.3 million to strengthen our rotations. And as it comes to January, we do get Joe Johnson out the door. He'll go on loan to Turkey, just get out, hopefully get some games, improve himself. That's nice that he's not just rotting in our reserves. And with the transfer window done, we want to hop into the second half of the season now. Hopefully we can do some serious work and survive this season. And after some incredible results and some brilliant work in the second half of the season, we finished 13th, which is an incredible position to finish in. We are 4 points away from the relegation zone, and if you're looking at 7th, we're about 20 points away from Europe. So we're definitely on the wrong end of this, but survival was key this season. Now we can hopefully grow, bring in some more talents, look to try and rotate our team to make sure it's as strong as possible. But what a first season. We are staying in the Premier League, and now it's about going into the Championship to see who else we can pick up. And as you can see from the bottom of the table, we're going to be able to pick apart Wolves, Southampton and Leicester for their star players. And as far as individual performances go, Liam Delap was a star player this season, picking up 15 goals. He was our only player in the top 25 and finished a good 9 off Alexander Isak, who was the top scorer and won the Golden Boot. And when it comes to the FA Cup, Liverpool were victorious, beating Coventry 2-1 in the final. They also won the Carabao Cup when they beat Spurs 1-0 in February. The Champions League went to Barcelona in an El Clasico that went to penalties. Roma won 4-3 on penalties against Fenerbahce to win the Europa League, and Chelsea won the Conference League, winning 3-1 against Panathinaikos. Ultimately, what a fantastic season. We have done very well to stay in the Premier League. We've done well to grow our talent. We're in a great position for where we need to be. Now we just need to go and grow on it. Hopefully pick up a few players from some of those relegated teams. And so moving into season 2, it's going to be pivotal that we go and raid those teams that have gone down, look for any extra talent that's sort of grown over last season, and just make sure we're strengthening our side this year. And so as you can see, our centre mid is looking a little bit weak. We need to try and bolster that up. We probably need another centre back, and there'll be another few additions that we look to add this season. Also on top of that, it's going to be key that we go and get some of our young players back out on loan so they can continue to grow and maybe have an impact next year. And so we got to work cutting our team, and there were 7 outgoings in total, the biggest of which were Connor Chapman to Fenerbahce, Twanzebe to Girona, and Harry Clark to Midtjylland. We also did then cut out Edmondson, Harness, Townsend and Baggett just to thin the squad so we didn't have too many names around, and that meant that we could go and be really dominant in the market. And so we were dominant in the market. Firstly, we went and picked up Ryan Giles from Burnley. That was just a £5 million deal. Then Milan van Ewijk from Coventry for 15.2 million to strengthen our right back position. We then went and raided one of the newly relegated teams in Wolves and picked up João Gomez for 24 million in centre mid, and then finalised our defence with the signing of Ethan Ampadu for 14.9 million from Leicester. And then finally, it's just about getting our loan talent out, and we did that. Vandenberg, Vata, Johnson, all out. Rigg goes out as well, Crew and Humphreys, as well as Trey Hume, who was actually our starting right back last year. I want to get him out on loan for this season, continue growing, and we'll keep Johnson for now. But he will become our backup right back in the next couple of years. And this is how we looked after a major window. Ewijk, Ampadu coming into our defence to strengthen us there. Nonto on the right is looking really solid, the same as Clark on the left. Bellingham and Gomez will run our midfield for this season. I really wanted to try and give Bellingham the chance to start in our midfield this year. Trafford is looking fantastic in goal. So really good year. Very happy with where everyone is at. And now I'm ready to go and grow into the season and see what we can do. Getting into the next season, we're halfway through or just over. It's basically the same as last year. We're 2 points off the relegation zone. I'd expect a little bit more by now, but maybe the other teams are just growing a bit faster than us. We really need to start getting a foothold in this league and start climbing towards mid-table and everything if we want to make some progression, because we're not there yet. We are going to need a serious improvement in the second half of the season. Otherwise, we're just going to have no chance of staying in the Premier League. And we done exactly that. We took on the Premier League. We came 13th. It's a very admirable position. We're 13 points clear of the relegation zone. So very solid season again. I have to say there's not a lot of improvement from last year. So I'm hoping that in a season or two, we start to really click and that's where we kick on. But for now, really happy. As long as we're staying in the Premier League and our squad is growing, that is all that matters. And the 3 teams we're going to be able to pick from are actually Leeds, Hull and West Brom, the 3 teams that come up. So there's nothing crazy going on there and no serious players that are going to be down there in the Championship. And with the individual performances, Jack Clark had a fantastic year, finishing 5th top scorer in the league with 17. The lap was also showing up here with 13 goals for the season, to 2 additions into the top scorers list for this season. Very, very happy. Well played, guys. And then for the other honours this season, the FA Cup goes to West Ham after a 2-1 win over Burnley. The Carabao Cup goes to Arsenal after winning 2-1 versus City. Champions League goes back to Anfield after a 2-1 win in the final versus Bayer Leverkusen. Arsenal finally win a European trophy, taking home the Europa League after a 4-2 win versus AC Milan. And then for the Conference League, it's Sparta Praha who come out on top over Bologna, 1-0 in the final. And that is it for season 2. Another great year. The team are getting better, so there are improvements, but there's going to be some serious work next year to make sure we start pushing towards European places, because that is the next step. So, some serious work was done in the window. There was a lot of outgoings, replacements, everything going on. So the first thing we did was get rid of 2 players. Massimo Luongo, who's aging and in the last year of his contract, and Ben Johnson to Real Oviedo for 5.3 million. What we also wanted was a rotational right back, whilst we still gave Van Ewijk the chance to grow. So Van Ewijk has gone out on loan to Liverpool for the season, whilst Jayden Bogle has come in from Leeds for 11 million to cover. On top of that, we had a really good centre-mid partnership last year with Bellingham and João Gomez, but we need to improve that this year if we want to be away from the relegation zone and pushing towards Europe. But sadly, Joe Bellingham has had to go out on loan this year. He's gone to Fiorentina. He's been replaced by Hayden Hackney from Middlesbrough for £20 million. He's got really high potential, can get all the way into the mid-80s, so he's going to be very important to try and grow with us. Also, we got some of our young talent out. Players like Chris Rigg, Vata, Johnson, Bellingham, as we've already talked about, and also Dan Neil, someone we had a little bit of extra money for, so we went and bought up and loaned him out straight away to Man United. He is just currently 77 rated, but has the potential to grow into the mid-80s as well. So really impressive talent, and it just means our squad is constantly growing, even if they're not with us. And overall, that is the squad for now. We're in a really good spot. We have some quality players, some really impressive talents, and we are growing into the season. It's going to be a long journey going forward, because obviously it's about getting to that elite level that's going to be difficult when signing from the championship. Overall, we're in a really good spot. And at just over the halfway stage, we are currently sitting in 5th position. We are really far off first, so it's not like it's some craziness going on here, but to be near the European spots, let alone the Champions League, is crazy. This is a really good start to the year. Hopefully we can maintain it. And with no money in the budget, it meant that we couldn't really do anything in this window. So it was all about getting back out there, trying to continue this form, see if we can end up in European spots this season. And with the season coming to an end, it looks like we're going to be in a really good position next year, where we'll be competing for the Europa League. We have made serious progression this year. We're in a really good spot, so I'm very happy with that. And this has been an incredible year, a really big jump from where we were sort of residing last year in the table. And when it comes to the end of the season and what we have to go and buy from, we have Everton, Brighton and Nottingham Forest. That's 3 serious teams with some serious talent. And individually, our team thrived again. So Clark done well again, came 3rd in the top goal scorers, beating Erling Haaland with 23 goals. And on top of that, we also have one other addition in the top 25 with Liam Delap with 16. These 2 are doing very well to keep us shooting up the league. Hopefully they can continue to grow, because they're both looking incredible so far. And when it comes to the other competitions, Chelsea won 3-1 versus Watford in the FA Cup final. Liverpool beat Spurs 3-0 to win the Carabao Cup. Inter Milan beat PSG 3-2 in the Champions League final. Chelsea win the Europa League after winning 4-1 versus Celtic. And Ajax win 4-2 on penalties in the Conference League final versus Napoli. So there it is, another season done. Really good progress with the teams that have been relegated. I'm really hopeful we can pick up some serious talent to help us grow even more. This has been a great season overall. So that is it for season 3. Another great year, great progression. Team is looking good, but this is the season. Season 4, it looks like there's some serious talent in the teams that have gone down. So if we ever want to try and make that jump, the serious challenges in the league, it is now. Let's jump into season 4 and see what we can do. And so we jumped into a new season, and this was the craziest transfer window yet. There was some serious talent in the championship, so we knew we had to trim our squad, make it possible to bring them in. One of the players that we got rid of was a star player in João Gomez, really quality centre mid we picked up from Wolves a couple of years ago. But when you can replace him for someone better, you just have to get this done. Other players like Jaden Bogle, Christian Walton and Ogbene all hopped out as well. But we also had to jump in and sell some of our star players in James Trafford and Jacob Greaves, because between the two of them, we could earn £100 million. So that meant we had to bring in some new talents. So Stefano Turati from Everton for 23 million will plug our goalkeeper position. It's a little bit of a downgrade, but he will grow. We brought in Jamie Cumming from Oxford as just a backup keeper to replace Walton. And then the star signing of this window is bringing in Warren Zaire-Emery from Nottingham Forest for £92 million. Really bringing in what I believe will be the star of this career mode going forward. There was one other deal we were able to get done, but we weren't able to get it done before the transfer window ended. So this is now a pre-contract signing for the January window, and that is Jared Branthwaite coming in from Brighton for 56 million. And the great thing for us was we didn't have to compromise. We can still get out some of our young talents on loan. So Joe Bellingham, Dan Neil, Chris Rigg, and Cameron Humphreys are all back out for another season to continue their growth. And with that done, this leaves us with this team. You can see there's been slight downgrades in the goalkeeper and centre-back, with Vandenberg now coming to start for us. We will get him out on loan in the second half of the season when Branthwaite comes in. But as you can see, the team is jumping forward. We are getting towards those top levels, and each season we can sign a player or two of that quality. We will be in a fantastic position. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, 8th in the table, halfway through the year, only 3 points off of Champions League. Currently in the pack with the top 6 and Burnley. 8th sounds bad, but really I don't think it's bad at all. We're right in the pack. We're right there where we want to be. Hopefully we can really push on in the second half of the year. And so with January here and us currently sitting 8th in the table, we really needed a boost, and luckily, as I've already told you, we've sorted that boost. Jared Branthwaite comes in from Brighton for £56 million, a real serious addition to the defence for the second half of the season, and now we can go and hopefully push on towards Champions League football. And so when it comes to our defence, it looks so much better now. The midfielders looking solid. As I go through this, I am looking at the right back and the number 10 for positions we potentially need to replace because they're lacking behind a little bit, but we'll find out in time whether that's the case or not. Hopefully we can see some good additions in next year's relegation pool so we can pick up some good talent in those positions, but right now we're in a really good spot. And so Omari Hutchinson, the player I really wanted to build this career around in some ways, has submitted a transfer request. We are no longer going to be able to use him. We're going to sell him this window. I'm not going to replace him. I am going to make an executive decision. We are recalling Chris Rigg from his loan and giving him a chance in the first team. And when it comes to the Europa League, it is complete dominance. 7 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. So a big 22 points in our league campaign, our league stage. Very, very impressive. We've done very well in this competition. So as it stands, we are the cream of the crop of this competition. Can we keep that going into the knockouts and bring home a European trophy? And so we did end up getting rid of Omari Hutchinson to Nottingham Forest. Now, we couldn't really seem to get any more than about 23 million for him, which was really annoying. But what we have done is try to strategically place him at a team that has the potential to be in Championship or relegated in the future. So maybe this isn't the end of Omari. We'll find out by the end of the episode. And so we made a serious move in the market, and that was to get Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest. Now, this was a huge deal. Omari goes to Nottingham, we take Anderson. This will improve our depth. Everything is much better by having this guy. And so the team is clearly working. We are in the semi-final of the Europa League. We are already 4-1 up against Roma, so we're in a fantastic position to go and get through to the final and have a chance at winning Ipswich their second UEFA Cup. We're going to jump into this now, see if we can get that result. It was a big game, 7-5 on aggregate at the end, but we do go through, and we're in our second UEFA Cup final for Ipswich Town. And so here we are, the Europa League final. We're going to jump in and sim this, and then we'll just jump in at the end if we win the trophy to pick up the trophy lift. So here we go. Can we win our second UEFA Cup? Come on. Zaire Emery, Hume, Vata Delap! Goal! 70th minute, Liam Delap scores, and surely that has to be close to winning the Europa League now. Only 20 minutes left. Give us the win. There we go! Europa League winners! That will see it off. Beautiful win. And Ipswich win their second UEFA Cup in history. Liam Delap, the hero. You could have probably written that, to be fair. He's been incredible for us so far. Here we go. Dara O'Shea to lift the UEFA Cup. Ipswich are European champions again, or a version of European champions. And that will see us win a brilliant piece of silverware. Hopefully that means we can now go and kick on in the Champions League, because that is an unbelievable situation. Huge trophy, huge results. This just shows how much we've progressed in the last couple of seasons. And so it looks like the additions of Jared Branthwaite and Elliot Anderson were massive. They have fired us all the way to third in the league. An incredible second half of the season. Looked like we slipped up a lot of points still, but really clawed it back this half. This is fantastic. Third is amazing. And what that means is the teams we're going to be able to pluck from are Leeds, West Brom and Southampton. They are relegated and their players will be up for grabs. And when it comes to individual performances, we had our star man Liam Delap with 17 goals this year and Willie Nonto pick up 14. Sadly, Jack Clark didn't make it this year. He struggled a bit in comparison to how he used to, but still a great season overall. Then with the other competitions, Man City won the FA Cup on penalties. They also won the Carabao Cup, winning 2-0 versus Spurs. The Champions League went to Bayern Munich after winning 4-2 on penalties. We of course came out as Europa League winners, and Monaco win the Conference League 2-1 versus FC Basel. And that is of course it for this season. An incredible season with incredible progression. The team has improved massively. We have a trophy in the cabinet with a second UEFA Cup now, and we are on an incredible trajectory. We need to keep this going into next season. Hopefully we can sign some more top quality players, and the budget is there to really make a splash. Let's jump into season 5 and see what we can do. And so here we are in season 5. Real good progression last year. We're a European title holder. We're in the Champions League. There is a lot of growth, but this year is going to be difficult. We have a great team, but looking at the championship pool, there isn't a lot of great talent to go after. And although the talent pool isn't great, we've got 100 million to spend. So what we're going to do is try and improve where we can, but where we can't, we're going to try and strengthen our team, increase and improve the depth, so that we're able to play at a higher level consistently in any game, even when we're rotating. And so we get straight into the selling business. Now this is a hard day for me. A lot of the Ipswich Town talent that is with us currently has had to go out the door. Players that have been here since the start. So Jack Taylor, Sammy Schmoddix, George Hurst, Nathan Broadhead, Dara O'Shea, Luke Wolfenden and Ali Al-Hamadi have all seen the exit door this window. It is brutal. It is ruthless, but I think we can improve on a lot of these players so we can have a chance at going for every competition. On top of those guys going out, we also saw Ilya Gruev out the door. That was an important one to see if we could get him out, because I think we can improve on him as well, and he is starting to age. And on top of that, we got some of our young players back out on loan again. So Dan Neal to Liverpool, Bellingham to Bournemouth, we got Joe Johnson out to Nottingham Forest, and Charlie Crew out to Betis. We are still keeping Cameron Humphreys. I think he's going to be a rotator next season. He's gone to Osasuna for the year as well. That is the business done. There's some really important business done, but that is it. That's all the transfers outdone. I don't see anyone else leaving this season. There's a lot of names, but I'm not going to try and get rid of anyone else. We've got about 6 positions we need to fill for our own team, and then if we have money left over, we'll do what we always do and bring in some young talent, loan them out, and make sure we continue to grow our arsenal of money, talent, so we have more options later down the line. And after that craziness in the window, we now have about £150 million to spend. As I said, there's 6 key signings, so we're going to make sure that all of those are brought in first. Then we'll look at what other options we have available. But let's get straight into that and see who we picked up. And so we got busy with our money. A lot of money was spent in a very short period of time, but we have really strengthened our team. Firstly, we brought in Dean Huyson from Swansea, a young Spanish centre-back, 16.5 million for him at 77 rated. A fantastic purchase. Then to bolster our midfield, we brought in Connor Barron from West Brom. 28 million for the Scottish centre mid, 81 rated. He's really going to bulk things up when our two starters aren't playing. Next, we needed two strikers. The first was Norman Bassette from Coventry, a Belgian striker for 14.8 million. He will be our main rotator, with a backup to him of Josh Coburn. He comes from Swansea, he's English, just 4.9 million for the 74 rated striker. Now this seriously bolstered our striker options, make sure we're a lot more competitive when Delap isn't playing. And also, as we got rid of Broadhead, we needed a new left winger, so we picked up Carlos Forbes from Millwall for 25.5 million. That's really going to strengthen our rotations off that left flank. And then when going through, we had an option. Now we did have Chris Rigg last season, in the second half of the season at least, covering our centre attacking mid role, but we found a serious talent. Valentin Corboni from West Brom was available at 43.5 million, so we brought in the 82 rated player who's got some serious potential to come and fill the number 10 role, and we'll have Chris Rigg drop to the bench for this season. And with all that business done, the team looks like this. It's really starting to look like a team that can challenge for the top 4 consistently and even do a little bit of damage in Europe. We are struggling a little bit on right back, so we just need to wait for that perfect moment that someone of a high caliber is in the championship to pick up. But for now, Hume will do. Hopefully he can grow a little bit as well this season to continue his own progression. But for now, a fantastic team. Really, really solid. Has a lot to work with, a lot of top talent, and hopefully people can still even grow based on who we've picked up. And with everyone sorted, we have our first chance of silverware this season, which is in the UEFA Super Cup. So we're going to jump into this, see what we can do. Quick sim versus Bayern Munich. It's a 5-3 win in extra time. Nonto and Clark pick up the decisive goals. Nonto with a double, Clark with a double, and Zaya Emery as well. First piece of silverware, a European Super Cup is fantastic. Brilliant. We are starting to really tick. And so with half of the season gone and everything going, I would say fairly well, we're 20 games in, 37 points and in 4th position. We're only 5 points off top, so we're in a really good spot for that as well. I'm not saying we're going to go and win a title right now. Closer we are to the top spot each year is progression in my eyes. And when it comes to the transfer window and everything this winter, I don't see a lot happening. I don't want to really get rid of players, and I don't have any money to bring anyone in. So this is pretty much it. We're going to hop straight into the second half of the season and see what we can do. And when it comes to the Champions League, we came 8th, but it's just enough to not have to be involved in the playoff. We're automatically through to the knockouts, which is a fantastic situation. Some top teams in here with Man City, PSG, Barcelona, Liverpool. It'll be a really tough year. We're going to try and get involved in some knockouts, but hopefully we get some nice draws. Hopefully we get some good ties, and we can get all the way to the final and have an impact in the UCL. And so we're in the round of 16 versus Lyon. We are 3-2 behind at the moment, which is not a good spot to be. So hopefully we can overturn that, jump in to the quarterfinals. We cannot. Looks like we're going to have to go for at least another season, as we are out of the Champions League at the first knockout round. And so we are here on FA Cup final day, Ipswich versus Chelsea. We're going to jump into the sim like we always do, and I'll just jump in at the end if we're winning to see the trophy lift. Let's get into this and see if we can win Ipswich their second FA Cup ever. Delap. Back to Delap. Back to Hackney. Delap! It's in! He's not offside! 30 minutes to go, and we're ahead in the FA Cup final. Still on the ball. Ardagula! It's 1-1. 18 minutes to go. Chelsea get their equaliser. We're going to jump in for the pens because it only makes sense. Ardagula steps up first. Scores. Jack Clark's time to shine. Manyan cannot get there. Mark, you. Over the top. Nonto. Sends it into the top right. Good penalty. Armando Broja. Right down the middle. Composed. The lap. Goes for bottom right. Gets bottom right. 3-2. A big save needed here. It goes up all the way over. João Felix skies it. And Zaya Emery has the chance to win the FA Cup. He steps up. It's completely foiled. No. Now, Trevor Chalobah, ex-Ipswich loanee. He steps up. Slots it home nicely. Slots it home very nicely. And now it falls on the shoulders of Hayden Hackney to win the FA Cup final. It's saved! Back to sudden death. Skied by Nuno Mendes. We have the advantage again. And now it's the youngster, Chris Rigg, to fire it into the top left. He scores and Ipswich win their second FA Cup. Oh, that got so close. I can't believe we didn't finish it in the first 5, but we are the English Domestic Cup champions. And so Ipswich are FA Cup champions for a second time in their history. An incredible season all round. We wish we could have done a bit better in the Champions League, but to win this title is massive. A real accomplishment to get Ipswich some more silverware. We do need to go on and take a little bit of a push in the Premier League for the last couple of games to see if we can finish in the Champions League again. We don't want to go backwards in that regard, but overall, great to finish the season with some silverware. So here is the league. It's wrapped up. We came third. We are 9 points off of first, so still a long way to go in that journey. Solidly finished in Champions League by 5 points, so you got to be happy with that. A really good situation overall for ourselves. You go to the bottom of the table, the teams we're going to be able to pluck from are Burnley, Brentford and Everton. I think there's going to be some talent in those teams, so I'm very happy with that. And so, as you know, we won the FA Cup as far as the other competitions go. Man City win 4-2 in the Carabao Cup final. Man City beat AC Milan 1-0 to win the Champions League. Fenerbahce beat Arsenal 2-1 to win the Europa League. Inter Milan beat 2-1 in a very competitive Conference League final. So here we are, a season to revel in. Top 3 in an FA Cup you'll always take. Obviously, we want to do better in the Champions League, but that will come. We'll keep growing our squad, improving. Done very well with that this season in terms of the growth, the depth. It's all there now. So let's just hope for a couple of key top players from some of those relegated teams. I think there will be some. Let's get into season 6 now. Keep the grind going, keep improving, and hopefully we can start to make a splash in the Champions League. The transfer window was finalised fairly quickly. We had a lot of deals though. So the standard, Joe Bellingham out on loan, Joe Johnson out on loan, Charlie Crew on loan, and this time we got Dean Hoyson and Connor Barron out on loan as well, just to continue their progression. We also sold Van Ewijk for 22 million to Brentford and Ryan Giles to Sporting Lisbon for 8.5 million, just to free up some space in the squad, because we had ideas for other players that could come in. One of those players is Harrison Burrows from Sheffield United for 21.7 million. He will strengthen our rotation left back spot, whilst we also have Mark Pubil come in from Burnley for 29 million and Leopold Querfeld come in for 35.5. That will really strengthen us. Our rotations are a lot more solid and strong, and now we can really try and push for it. So where we don't have the talent right now to go and add to our squad to make it stronger, we'll at least make our rotations better, depth better, and make sure we don't have as much of a drop off. We also picked this talent up, Tobias Palacio from Burnley, 22-year-old centre back, 78 rated, looks very good. We weren't able to get him out on loan yet with the season starting. That means we'll just have to basically set him up for a short-term loan in January. And with the season starting, we're locking in this. A fantastic lineup, so many quality players and talents. The bench looks amazing. Starting lineup looks amazing. I feel like we're a few key pieces away from really going on to win the big silverware like the Champions League and League. Hopefully we can start that journey this season. And so we have our first game of the season, the Community Shield, a chance for silverware. It's nothing special, this trophy. If we lose it, I don't really care, but see if we can do anything against City here. Our team is looking so good right now. We're on that verge of really challenging, I think. Let's jump into this, see what we can do. Can we bring home the Community Shield? No, we cannot. That goes Man City's way. When it comes to the halfway stage of the season, we're in 5th, which isn't great, with 7 points off top. There are improvements to be made. We've been a bit slacking with 7 losses this season, so hopefully we can pick that up in the second half of the year. We haven't really got money to spend or anything, so I don't think we're going to be going crazy in the market, even if we do dip in it a little bit. But yeah, this is it for now. This is where we're at. Got a big season or second half of the season ahead, so hopefully we can get something out of this year. And the extent of the transfer business was just getting Tobias Palacio out on loan. He goes to Brighton for the second half of the season. Just don't want him rotting in our reserve, so hopefully he can get some game time and improve a little bit. We also had an incredible league stage in the Champions League. 8 games played, 5 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss. We'll take that all day. 17 points, finishing 3rd, just behind City and Real Madrid. That is a great omen for pushing towards success by the end of this season. And so here we are, our second leg of the round of 16 versus Fenerbahce. We're 2-1 up already, so we're going to jump into this, see if we can get a result. It's a 3-1 win. Kind of expected that, but we're through to the quarterfinals. So there is another trophy up for grabs, and this time it is the Carabao Cup against Arsenal. Big opportunity for more silverware, so we're going to jump into this, sim the game. If we're winning by the end of it, I'll jump in and get the trophy lift. Good start. Zaire Emery. Delap. 4 minutes and Delap scores. Let's go. What a start. It's 2-0 in 14 minutes. Delap. A brace already. Let's go. Into Delap. Finds Hackney back to Clark. Has to cut it back, finds Delap for the hat-trick! A hat-trick in the final! And 3-0 up, surely we win this competition now. Sends it forward. Still have a threat. Goal for Erdegaard. It's not over yet, but it's a long journey back for them. And that is it! The end of the game. Another trophy in the cabinet. Carabao Cup, yes, it doesn't mean loads, but every trophy is a win. Let's go. Delap hat-trick. Big result. And here we go, baby. Another trophy in the cabinet. We are turning Ipswich into a force. Big result. Another one on the wheel. Let's go. And so we're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League with a 2-goal advantage. This is really there. We're there. We can do this. We're going to jump into this, see what we can do. It's a 2-0 win. Huge results. Let's go. Semi-final time. We are really in there now. And so it's Champions League semi-final time. 1-1 after the first leg. Got to take on Athletic Bilbao to get to the final. Can we get a result and book our place in that final? We can! A 3-1 win. We are going to the final and have a chance to 1, get Ipswich their first ever Champions League, and 2, finish this career mode. And so coming into the last game, we were already champions, but we just jumped into a game to show you that trophy lift. And so we're at the end of the game. A massive result means we win the Premier League title. Sweet release. The one we've been journeying for so long has finally come true. We are Premier League champions. We're able to lift that coveted trophy for the first time. Second time being the champion of England back in '61 for the first time. So at the moment we're just duplicating trophies. But the one we need is the Champions League that we've never done before. But another incredible campaign. Vandenberg lifts the trophy. And oh my god, this is one of the ones I thought we were going to really struggle to tick off. But finally we've had that season. Finally, we are champions. This is how it looked at the end of it. Win by 3 points. Well clear. We lost the last game, so we had the chance to go 6 points clear. But well done to us. Taking Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, City and 7th. Overtaking all of them. Become the top dog in the English pyramid. And here we are at Champions League final day. Ipswich versus Paris Saint-Germain. Can we get a result? We're going to jump to this now. Let's see what we can cook up and whether we can bring home that European glory. Hey, well played. Tries to ping it into the middle. No can do. Martinelli on the ball. Branthwaite has to step out. Branthwaite's beaten. Martinelli finds Samu. Good save from Taraki. Looking for that option. Dispossessed by Hackney, is he? No, it still falls to him. Samu now. Finds Ferreira. Good shot. Tarati again. Foden. Ferreira. Stolen. Trey Hume is breaking. He actually sees that run and goes for an incredible switch of play to Willy Gnonto. Gnonto now takes Serginho Dest out of the game. Looks for Delap. Hits one. Ooh. Here is Clark. Looks for the whip. Finds Liam Delap. What a chance. What a chance. Banked clear. Hackney finds Chris Rigg, who goes for one. Good save from Donnarumma. There's a really good chance here for PSG. Samu breaking. Hits it. A very tame effort across, but Tarati deals with it well. Half time. It's been an action-packed first half. Lots of chances, but no one's been able to break the deadlock yet. Can't find it. Gnonto drops it off. Zaire Emery. Easy save in the end. It's Zaire Emery. Finds Delap. He beats Kasudu. Round. Colwell slots it home. Liam Delap with the outrageous finish. He beats the two defenders and calmly slots it besides Donnarumma. And that puts us 1-0 up in the Champions League final. Just wanted that clear. It's Pedri, keeping things ticking. Samu looks for Foden. He hits it. It's an unbelievable save from Tarati. Samu goes long. A ball to Martinelli. Hume tries to get there. It's a good block. Good save. Foden picks up only as far as Pedri. Martinelli again. Finds it into Kiergaard. Samu. Kiergaard releases him. Ferreira. Tarati with an outrageous save again. And here they come for one last attack. Brandwaite is knackered. He can't get there. Finds Samu. Into Martinelli. He had a chance to win it. But that is it. Ipswich Town are European champions. We are finishing this career mode. And we have done it finally. 6 seasons in the end. A real tough slog and a tough journey. But we've got it done. Incredible players like Delap, Clark and Davis from the Ipswich stock that originated. We've also grown Zaire Emery to an 87, Gnonto to an 88 or an 89 now. We have an incredible squad and they've shown just what they can do. What an incredible team. And here we are, Champions League winners, Ipswich Town. Let's go. What a result. What a moment. If you've enjoyed, please do leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let me know if there's any other rebuilds or challenges you want me to do in the comment section below. Hit the notification bell if you want to stay posted, and leave a comment of Ipswich are the best in the comments if you've made it this far to show you're a real one. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, I'll pop another one in the middle of the screen now just to make sure you've got some more enjoyable content to go through. But that is it for me today. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely rest of the day. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.